have ever asked yourself what design thinking has to do with gender equality, you're not alone. I'm still asking myself what design thinking is. Thankfully, a loyal What She Said supporter and show friend, Vanessa Iarocci, joins us today. Formerly a banking executive, Vanessa is now involved in all sorts of fascinating research and is also launching an intriguing course at Rotman School of Business this fall. Welcome back to What She Said, Vanessa.
Thanks, Kate.
Let's break it down. What exactly is the Institute for Gender and the Economy?
Great. The Institute for Gender and the Economy is an academic think tank out of the Rotman School of Business. It was founded by Sarah Kaplan, who has been researching and has written all sorts of really fascinating papers about issues relating to gender and the economy. And to make this really simple, what is an academic think tank? It's basically, a collaboration of true academic researchers who are conducting objective, rigorous, scholarly research into issues that are a little controversial, maybe a little different, really trying to unearth new ways to look at gender challenges so that they can ultimately change the conversation.
Okay, so then what is design thinking?
Yes, exactly.
Great question.
Does it look good? Do the colors match?
So to make this really easy, design thinking is essentially a framework for solving problems. And it's a framework that really came out of Silicon Valley and the innovation space where problems were a little more ambiguous, perhaps not defined before. And, when you explain it, people say, well, what other way would you solve a problem? And it essentially is based on the premise that the solution to really complex, ambiguous problems, the solutions actually lie in understanding very deeply the people who experience that problem. So instead of a bunch of strategists solving an issue in a boardroom somewhere on Bay Street or Wall Street, design thinking says first go to the person experiencing the issue, really deeply understand their problem, follow them around, observe them in their environment, and really unearth what it is that they're going through. And from there, reframe the challenge and solve it using their input in ideating solutions. So to make this really simple, I'll use my favorite example, women in investing. So the women are known to not be as engaged in the investing process as men. Often the way financial institutions solve that problem is that they run advertising campaigns or things like this. Mm-hmm. But if you actually do the research, as I've had the opportunity to do, what you really uncover is women feel that they're disrespected in conversations about investing. They feel that investing products don't necessarily meet their needs in terms of lifespan and risk tolerance, for example. And if we understand those specific challenges, then we can solve the specific challenge versus this broad, vague problem.
So how does that equate to equality? I mean, how does that lead to equality?
Well, if you really understand a problem from the user's perspective and you can define it better and you can work with humans and the people that experience the problem to try to solve it, you get more specific problems to solve, but you also get solutions that are tested. So what this course is going to do at Rotman is it's going to engage a number of business students in addressing a challenge and saying, instead of us solving this in the classroom, go out into the field, talk to people that experience this problem, and actually build a prototype solution. And then go back into the field and test it with the users. For example, is this actually going to work? Are we going to actually solve this problem?
So what are some of the challenges you plan on discussing in the course?
Well, we have one challenge from a Deloitte Conduit Law, which is around how to, keep women engaged on the partner track in law firms. And, that's an example of one challenge. There's another challenge from RBC related to women in investing and how to have better conversations with women about their investing futures. I'm hoping you ladies are going to contribute a challenge around women in media, for example. Mm-hmm. And we also have a challenge from a young female founder who is having trouble raising funds for her business, despite the fact it's earning lots of money and she has a great track record.
Now, Vanessa, you're an extremely bright woman and you're a very efficient woman. You get a lot done. I'm wondering if this is a new way of solving problems, logistically, is that going to be feasible for companies to be able to send teams out observing people? And I mean, instead of sitting in a boardroom and at their computer?
Well, there is a significant shift underway because unfortunately companies are going to have to adapt. Because what you're seeing is this pressure coming out of the startup community from Silicon Valley, from Toronto, which is now Silicon Valley North. This is how startups get things done. They don't have large budgets and 12-foot boardroom tables, and they don't have the kinds of resources that some of these larger firms have. But what they do have is a lot of grit and the passion to really roll up their sleeves and understand the customer. So, unfortunately, businesses are going to have to adapt, and I think it's going to be a bumpy road there. But really, taking approach to the way business has typically been conducted is you develop a strategy, you get funding for it, and then you launch it. And at some point after you've spent millions of dollars, you start getting feedback from the market. And really, when you boil it down to first principles, that doesn't make a ton of sense, right?
Right.
Because if you can build something like a low fidelity solution and just take it to market and test it, you actually save time and you save a lot of money as well.
Mm-hmm. So is this something you see as applicable to businesses of all sizes and
Absolutely.
all kinds of businesses?
Absolutely. I think, adopting a customer first mindset and adopting a culture of, we're prepared to test our ideas and market and we're prepared to fail. I think that's really the cornerstone of innovation. And unless you're ready to do that, you're never really ultimately going to be able to innovate.
And it's going to result in disruption.
Yes.
What's disruption?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
So disruption is essentially overturning an existing idea or solution. A really practical example of disruption would be the Netflix replacing DVDs. They disrupted that market. They essentially completely obliterated the concept of going to the video store and renting a DVD because suddenly you can stream online.
So when will this course start and who can apply?
Well, it starts September 14th, and it is for currently for Rotman MBA students. And we have 19 students enrolled, so I'm really excited. It's a new course, and as the course evolves, hopefully we will bring it to more of an executive education audience as well, so that folks out in the community can also register. But for this fall, it's focused on MBA students specifically.
And will the research be released in some form so that other people can access it?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, I know my students are going to be amazing, but I'm hoping that once they put together their projects and solutions, that we can really share their outcomes and ideas, because that's really ultimately the purpose of the course, is to say, can we really take a different approach to solving these problems and share our ideas with the world? Because frankly, most great ideas are iterative and built on fragments of ideas that exist in the world. There are very few truly brand new ideas.
And is there anything else like this out in the world being taught?
Well, I couldn't find anything quite like this in a business school. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Now we have to come up with a challenge.
We have to, yes, we do.
I think
mind
you'll come up
is
with
just-
an amazing challenge.
It's just working here
Yeah.
on, because that's a lot of students doing a lot of research that could be beneficial to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
excellent.
this sounds like a tipping point here
I hope
in
so.
terms of problem solving.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to being updated, right, Kate, on all of
Absolutely.
this, because we need to learn how to solve problems
And
better,
you know
too.
I'll stay in touch.
This is What She Said. Stay with us.